you.
Welcome. Today is Tuesday,
She had two.
May 2nd, 2024 at 10 a.m.
Sign on it. She put
This
up 30
is the
signs.
animal
It's already up.
control
Thank you.
hearing. And I will start by taking attendance. Board Member Johns? Veronica? Veronica, can you hear me?
Yes,
Are you here?
I'm doing the attendance.
yes,
Present.
okay, present,
Megan Laundrie?
Present.
Melvin Edwards?
Present.
Camille Nelson present and Keith Clements absent. Amongst us are Renee Robichaud from TJO and Attorney Shu Checks from the Law Department. There are 7 items that's on the agenda for this morning.
We did all of
Okay. This dangerous dog in was represented by me. The complainant will be given 10 minutes. So therefore, if there's 2 of you appear for the complainant, you allow 5 minutes each. So the minutes have to be shared amongst you.
10 minutes total.
10 minutes total, correct? Then there will be questions of the Animal Control Board shall be made only after each proponent has spoken. The respondent will be given 10 minutes. Again, those 10 minutes will be shared. After the complainant and respondent have completed their argument, each side will be allowed 5 minutes in rebuttals, and again, those 5 minutes has to be shared. The hearing is now open. And the first item on the agenda for today, can everyone please raise their right hands? Do you swear to declare and affirm that the evidence that you are about to give is true, to the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
The first item on the agenda for this morning is a nuisance dog hearing for a dog named Kobe at 77 Gold Street, owned by Michelle Pagan Ramos. Is Michelle here?
I'm the plaintiff. I'm the complaint. My name is Ruth Greer.
Okay.
Okay, Ahmed,
Hi.
Can you just wait 1 second? Ruth?
I mean, if the owner isn't here, you guys can declare the dog a nuisance or dangerous based on the facts. Basically, they chose not to come and defend themselves, so. Yeah, you just present the facts and then,
Could you do me a favor, and just call your shit right to me?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
and quickly before we start, nuisance dog is the dog that,
But just so everybody, could you introduce who you are?
I'm Attorney Suchuk. I'm the attorney for this hearing committee. And I'm just gonna go over the factors of that must be proven for a dog to be considered a nuisance dog. A nuisance dog is a dog that A, by excessive barking or other disturbance is a source of annoyance to a sick person residing in the vicinity. B, by excessive barking causing damage or other interference is disruptive to one's peace and quiet. C, molests or threatens passerbys or passing vehicles. D, threatens or attacks domestic animals or persons. E, trespasses on school grounds or private property. F, if found at large 3 or more times as documented by animal control officers within a consecutive 12-month period. And G, damages to public or private property.
Thank you, Attorney Shuja. We'll get a report from TJO, please.
So certified mail was sent on the 22nd. A notice was left at the residence,
You know, some regular mail as well,
regular mail as well,
on the same day.
the following day. We do not have a large amount of history with this animal. On March 1st, 2024, Springfield Police called for assistance with an aggressive dog trying to attack the reporting party. Miss Greer. No bite occurred. The owner of the dog claimed at that time that it was her son's dog and he lives in New York and that the dog would be returning shortly to live with the son again. The dog in question was Kobe, a male brown French bulldog. On March 11th, we did a matter of record where the reporting party called to state that the dog is still being let off leash, and a citation was sent to Ms. Ramos for the dog being loose, unvaccinated, unlicensed in the city. There was a video, unfortunately, city IT issues don't allow me to do anything with that video, but our officer was able to see it on her phone.
What was the video?
It's a video of the dog just loose in the, like, on the property. Sometimes the video formats just won't play on these. And then on April 2nd, the complainant requested a hearing, came in to request a hearing citing additional video evidence of the dog being off leash. She came in and filled out the nuisance dog form for the dog, Kobe. And I just have a copy of the citation that was sent was for $250 total for lack of license, vaccine, being loose, and also the city has an intact violation if your dog is roaming at large.
Thank you, Renee. And we'll now hear from complainant Renee Wu.
Yes. So I am actually the neighbor of the suspended Michelle Ramos. There was the incident that took place on March 1st of this year. My daughter and I, she's 10 years old, she's on the spectrum, we're taking out the trash. And on purpose, at this point, because that's 10:30, so I'm thinking everybody's asleep. I look over and I noticed that Ms. Ramos opened her door, her screen door, and then her actual door, and let her dog come running towards us. And my daughter instantly started running. And as you don't know, dogs start running after people that are running, so he's running after my daughter. I apologize. For some reason, my power bank is not charging my phone, but my Ring doorbell did capture it. And what I did was I got in between the dog and my daughter, and I started kicking the dog in the chest because at this point showing his teeth, growling, showing intent to bite my daughter. And at this point in time, Ms. Ramos comes downstairs after she sees the incident happen for a few minutes now. She's being chased by the dog. She finally calls saying, "Don't kick my dog." But at this point in time, she's not making any type of intent of restricting the dog coming at us. And I'm telling her, like, hey, get your dog, put it on a leash. The dog's gonna bite my daughter because it's still following her, chasing her. And my daughter's literally crying in the back behind me, looking for shields. And I'm still kicking the dog at this point in time. That's when Michelle came towards the dog and the dog ran behind the property. And I went inside. That's when I called the police and let them know, hey, this is what's going on. And that was one of the incidents. The other incident, I'm taking my daughter to school. And once again, the dogs let out because I called also the ordinance on several occasions that the dog's being let out to do his business, not picking up after himself, which is unsanitary. So we're walking around on dog feces to school. So at this point in time, she's letting the dog out. And again, the dog's chasing my daughter. And at this point in time, the other minors, because my daughter goes to Rebecca Johnson, which is close to our house. So it's let out and barking at other parents and kids. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. So I'm calling again, saying, hey, this dog is let out, barking at other kids, is causing a nuisance. So the dog is she'll leave it out for she went on vacation, I think it was a week ago. And the dog was left, I think, without food or water because it was just barking and her car was not there, which I think is also, I'm an animal lover myself, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's inhumane to leave a dog for a long period of time without food and water. So I could just imagine the stage of the house by the time she came back. So my son's on the spectrum as well. When the dog's barking, it's keeping him up at night. So he's stemming, he's having these autism issues where he's not up all night and not able to sleep because there's a dog barking. So it's also impacting our sleep, it's impacting our livelihood. Every time we go outside, we're fearing that the dog is going to be at us because to this day, I don't think the dog has been on a leash. So that's our ongoing issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Since the owners are here, the board can just question complainant about it, anything about her statement. Then you have to make your decision.
Thank you. Any question?
No bites, correct?
No bites, thankfully, no. Yes, sir.
Any questions from the boards?
No,
None?
Motion to deem dog nuisance.
Okay,
Nuisance. Mr. Shushek, could you give me some guidelines on that?
Yeah, there are some listed guidelines and there are also, there's a catch-all, you can pretty much do anything within reason. The guidelines for a nuisance dog are that the dog be humanely restrained. 2, that the dog be confined to the premises of the owner of the dog, provided however that the confined shall mean securely confined indoors or confined outdoors and securely enclosed and locked pen or dog run area upon the premises of the owner. Provided however that such confinement shall comply with section 110, section 8. 110, section 8 is of the animal care standards, so as long as the dog is cared for. 3, that whenever the dog is removed from the premises of the owner, that the dog shall be securely and humanely muzzled and restrained with a leash having a minimum tensile strength of 300 pounds and not exceeding 3 feet in length. 4, that the animal shall be surgically sterilized and microchipped, and microchip registered to the city with all costs associated with the service to the owner, the owner of the dog. 5, that the owner construct within 2 weeks from the date of decision a secure enclosure to house the dog when it's in the owner's yard. 6, that the owner of the dog may not transfer ownership unless it's to an adult residing within the same residence. 7, that if the owner of the dog failed to appear at the hearing in front of the advisory hearing committee, the dog shall be declared dangerous. It shall be impounded or euthanized. 8, that the dog be humanely euthanized. 9, any other order that the hearing committee deems appropriate or necessary to protect the public from the dangerous or nuisance dog.
any recommendations?
I mean, my recommendation would be either a secure kennel for the dog or to be leashed and muzzled. Muzzling a French bulldog, I don't know how well that will work because they're so flat-faced. I'm sure they make them. But I would probably lean towards a kennel enclosure for when the dog is outdoors and he'd be leashed coming to and from the house into the kennel enclosure. And it's up to the board if they would like neuter. If it's an option.
The neutering calm the dog.
The behavior she's describing isn't really what you see from being an intact dog. Neutering calms dogs that are roaming because they're wanting to be loose, like getting out of yards, but it sounds like this dog's just literally being allowed to roam versus, so it could help, but it's not that he's breaking out of an enclosure that exists already. He's just being let out to just do whatever he pleases.
Motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
What was the
Second.
motion, Melvin?
The motion is to deem the dog a nuisance.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? No questions on the motions?
Can I get a roll call on the motion? Veronica,
it's a nuisance.
to leave the dog as nuisance.
Yes or no?
Yes,
Megan,
Yes.
Melvin,
Yes.
Camille, yes. And Officer Clemens is absent. The motion to pass. What are the recommendation? I'm sorry. On the motion passed and
Could you make this listed so that she can record the conditions that
the
you?
conditions.
So I would recommend a secure enclosure and that the dog be leashed when not in his home. And so leashed to and from the enclosure, if that's what they're choosing to use, or leashed while walked. I don't know that a muzzle is gonna
Okay, that's fine.
impact a French bulldog very well.
Okay,
I make a motion that we accept the conditions as recommended from TJO. Do I hear a second on that motion?
I second that emotion with the exception of the muzzle.
That wasn't included.
Okay,
Yeah, any questions on the motion?
No.
Okay. For Johns,
On the
on the
motion,
conditions,
yes,
Megan Laundry,
Yes.
Melvin Edwards,
yes.
Camille Nelson, yes, absent. Limits. Motion passed.
And you'll make sure notification comes from the law department.
I believe it comes from,
Notification comes from Camille and I'll check in with the owner once that's sent out to let them know what secure enclosure specifically requirements are.
Now, thank you very much for your time. Sorry for the situation and circumstances. Hope this brings some relief.
And please continue to call if they're not adhering to this, because that's the only way we'll know.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Have a good day.
Gizmo. The second item. On the agenda.
Yeah, whoever's there, I'm gonna have somebody else be sitting here shortly. Everybody knew.
The second item on the agenda today is a dangerous dog hearing for 64 Senator Street, owned by Nadia. Dog,
Yes, that's right.
and that's our.
I'm late. My name's Miguel.
We haven't gotten to you yet. Have a seat.
I accept that chair, that
Slide down.
as a chair for the, security one. Right.
Good morning,
And-
how are you?
Good morning, you're Nadia?
Yes.
Okay, and you, Mr. Nasir?
Yes.
Okay,
Before we get started, what a dangerous dog is, must be proven. For a dangerous dog, it's a dog that either without justification attacks a person or a domestic animal, causing physical injury or death. Or B, behaves in a manner that a reasonable person would believe poses an unjustified imminent threat of physical injury or death to a person or a domestic animal.
we'll now get a report from TJL, we'll get a minute,
On March twenty-fifth, 2024, officers received a call from the police department regarding a dog attack, dog versus dog. It sounds like Mr. Diaz was taking his dog Luna out and taking out his trash simultaneously when the dog identified as Spencer, owned by Mr. Harvey Masvidal, got loose and attacked Ivan's dog, biting multiple times and physically shaking the dog. Spencer is a Siberian Husky, which is a large-sized dog, while Luna was a smaller dog. And ultimately, she was euthanized at the emergency hospital that evening.
Thank you, Officer Robichaud. Ivan Diaz. Okay. The floor is yours.
But no, who's the plaintiff?
Yeah. Okay, it is
You're the
Ivan.
plaintiff and you're the owner of the dogs?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
you were correct. I'm sorry, I was confused as well.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, it was a Monday to Tuesday. I come from work. It's a routine for 6-7 years. I've been at at Parker Street, 1168 Parker Street. I have my trash barrel to bring it out. My little dog poodle comes out because it waited for me every day when I came to come, go with me to the trash barrel. So I'm putting down the trash barrel and out of the library, 16 acres library, these two giant, was two of them. So they come rushing. By the time I let the trash barrel go in front of the house, when I looked, that dog just grabbed it and just yanked it and threw it up. And I tried to get in. I said, well, let them bite me. I'm trying to save my dog. And it was terrible. It just yanked it and it just had holes everywhere. And they escorted me to West Springfield, the police to the border to try to make it to the hospital. Phone calls were made, the whole nine, but there wasn't nothing we can do. the doctor said, you know, I mean, you're gonna waste, I mean, that I didn't have the money, $9,000, and it's not gonna, it has no chances, so. You know, my dog passed away, you know, for some, it's, we had it since a baby, it was another family member, you know, it's a very tough situation with this. Never happened, never had no problems in that street. You know, I mean, it just, I mean,
Thank you.
How do I identify the dog as being the owner? And being the owner?
how,
Yeah,
I mean, it's the first time I'm seeing them, that they're the owners.
okay.
I mean, I thought, you know, with the whole situation going on, you know, that.
Yeah.
Come by and act, yeah, you know, I mean, I thought I would have done it. If some situation happened like that, I'll try to reach out to the people, hey, you know, I'm sorry, or, you know, look for a way to fix or to try to get, you know, I mean, present yourself and say, hey, this was but this is the first time I'm seeing them, haven't heard nothing. I've been, you know,
Okay, thank you. That's just for the record. We want to make sure it's the right dog that we're talking about. Nothing for the law department. You can go on with your meeting.
Thank you. Nadia? Okay.
I'm sorry for what's happened. For me, my dog is not dangerous. It's a sweet dog. I raised him when he was a baby. I know him. It's the first time in 2 years he skipped the gate with Zoya, then we run. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know you. I didn't know your address. If I know your address, I will reach you. I will, because I feel like when you lose dog, when it's happened, I don't know what's happened over there. But I know my dog, he cannot damage anything because he play with the kids. He never see, he play with small dog. What happened? I don't know. But what they gonna see, Spencer is not he's with the paper, he's a Siberian Husky, he's with all vaccination, with the registration, the collar has all the chip, microchip, everything registered in the city hall, rabies, everything. But I'm so sorry. What happened?
he went crazy.
Sir, Mr.
I'm really sorry for what happened to your dog. I mean, if it was me, I would be angry too. Losing a pet is like losing a part of our family. Our dogs are part of our family as well. We wanted to reach out and give at least show that our condolences for your dog, but we didn't know if it was okay or not. We didn't want to reach out to your house. I mean, I know
Yeah.
this is something upset you, but I didn't want to go to your house and make you feel uncomfortable in any way. So Spencer played with other dogs before, small dogs, big dogs. None of this has ever happened before. I don't know what happened really because I wasn't there to say why he attacked Luna. When we went to the animal control to see to get the report for the dog, our vet that used to work at Second Chance is working there now. And we told her what happened, and she couldn't believe that Spencer did this because he's just a giant, gentle giant, you know. But I mean, we're really sorry for what happened to Luna. There's nothing we can say that can bring her back.
Thank you. Mr. Diaz?
Like to respond, you can,
Yeah.
but you don't have to.
Yeah, there's nothing else I can say, you know, what happened. You know, they can say, well, I mean, they know their dog. I mean, like I know mines and everybody knows their own pet. But that day something happened. I mean, I'm not gonna say something that I've been living there for 7 years and there's dogs that walk around. I mean, the dog, I'll have people, baby, your dog. I said, don't worry, it's not gonna go from the street. It's not gonna move. They know, she knows it was only the dude. wait for me and come back in, you know, like I said, I mean, what's done is done. It's just, you know, it's a hard situation for myself, for my family, my son, you know, I mean, it's been tough, you know. I mean, it's not enough, it's done is done. It's just, you know, it was an event that is not fair, you know, for.
And then you guys can
There's not-
respond.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
but you don't
that
have
we can
to.
do,
Gotcha.
like I said, to return Luna back. And I know it's not fair, but in the same time, our dog is a part of our family as well. I feel for you. I really feel for you, but I wish there is something that we can do, but I don't know what to say.
Thank you both. I have a question for you, Mr. Diaz. Maybe I skipped that and I read it. Was the dog on a leash when you were walking the dog?
I mean, it was a little poodle. All they do is open the door. It'll come out with me to wait till I get home. I open my door. She's right there. From there, it goes right back inside. You know, it's the old poodle. It really could walk no more. I mean, we had it since, you know, that's the way. I knew it was gonna pass away at some point, but it wasn't the way that it happened. You know, I know it was an old dog. It only came from the door to me. So I get home and just right back in, you know, it was in.
He was on his own property.
Okay,
And it was
So
in, yeah.
the dog wasn't at large,
gotcha.
just that she wasn't on a leash.
Okay.
She's,
And that's all.
yeah.
Okay, thank you, Renee. Thank you, Mr. Diaz. Does the board have any question?
No.
Second, no.
So this closes that part of the hearing. Did you know what's your recommendation?
Do you guys have a fenced yard already?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, I would,
Where the dog came from. That's where the dog came from.
But my son, he
My
was
son-
playing in the trampoline, the ball is jumped to the out the fence. He was just open to grab the ball. Zoya and Spencer, he left. It's 1 second. He never happened. They have a fence, they have a kennel. I built a big kennel for them. Is no way. It's just that day it's happened.
Usually they wouldn't run away.
Yeah.
But since at that moment, the two of them were out, they just
I
ran
believe
as a couple and they just start running. They never usually, even when they are not on the leash on our property, they stay in our property. We never leave.
And I believe Spencer, he was like he thought he's a toy or something. He wanna just play. It's not like he wanna hurt her.
I would probably push for we'd have to do a kennel inspection, but making sure that it's a secure enclosure, that the dogs are in the secure kennel when they are outdoors, even though your yard is fenced, that beware of dog signs are posted just so people know.
Probably maybe they
and-
would have to be deemed dangerous before any conditions are.
Right, or
Yeah.
nuisance, yeah, one or the other, and then probably neuter for this situation. Just to keep him from wanting to try to, when they get at a certain age, sometimes they just start wanting to try to get out, so now that he knows that that's a thing, neutering might help keep him from continually trying, and huskies are very, very persistent.
This is the first incident for him. I mean, it's
No,
not,
that's, it's her turn to speak, and it's
I'm
their
sorry.
turn to
I
speak. If
apologize.
they ask you a question, you can respond,
my
but
apologies.
I know, it's tough, but, so you did your recommendation and now,
Motion, so
Yeah.
do a motion to deem dog dangerous, and then we can vote on the conditions after, so. Motion, do I hear a second? Motion's been made and second to deem dog.
can you, can I edit, can you say the reason why it's deemed dangerous? Okay, in your motion, can you say, explain why it's deemed dangerous?
Dog's being deemed dangerous because it killed another's animal.
Okay, thank you.
Second by Johns, right?
And then you can call it wrong. It's
Yes.
been seconded by.
So there's a motion on the floor made by Board Member Edwards and was seconded by Board Johns. On the motion, can I get a roll call, please, to deem the dog dangerous? Veronica,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Pastor Edwards,
Yes.
and I too, Camille is yes, and Board Clement absent. On the motion, what are the conditions
I read the conditions of the last,
for
hearing.
dangerous dog hearing?
They are,
And we can pick and choose.
you can pick and choose from what I listed. If they need to be repeated, I can go ahead and repeat that, but,
Okay, as long as what she suggested falls in those parameters.
okay, yeah, I do believe
That's
that's,
just going to be that an inspection of the kennel that is already there,
Yeah, to make sure it is a secure kennel,
signage.
signage on the outside fences, just to let the neighborhood know in case other little dogs, because sometimes,
Neutering.
you know, and
or
neutering, and also if you say you guys have children, the
Yes.
Yeah.
only adults would be able to bring him out and in.
Okay.
Just to minimize any accidents
and
happening.
that's newer, you're just, Spencer, the dog that, because this is so.
Yeah, that hearing is
This
only
applies
for
only to that one dog.
Just so you know, when you get the order, it's only for. Spencer. You get two.
I have,
Okay, oh, well, it's only for Spencer, not
Yeah.
the other two are safe.
yeah,
Okay, so,
You're clear on them?
so it's a secure, kennel TGO? That's your recommendation?
She already has a kennel.
She has a kennel, we just have to ensure that
Inspect-
it meets the
Inspection and make sure.
requirements of secure.
As well as signs posted, and it's always leashed when it's in between movement from the property to the kennel, is that those, okay.
Motion on I make a motion to accept the conditions. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor? Oh, no.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
Yes.
On the condition, yes. Megan,
Yes.
Edwards,
yes.
Nelson, yes. Absent Flemmons. Motion passed. Mr. Natal,
You'll be sending all this.
notice will be mailed to you.
Mailed to you. Sorry for on your both sides, for your loss of your dog, and sorry for you to have to go through this situation as well. But you both will receive a notice from the clerk's office with conditions. That required. Thank
Now,
you.
these conditions are irreversible or not?
They're in place for 3 years, and if there's no incidents in that 3-year period, you're automatically removed from the nuisance and or dangerous designation list. If there continue to be incidents, you've heard the other recommendations that could be ordered. So if he has any more incidents, that could make higher recommendations. And I think that at that point, the countdown would start again from that date.
I'm okay with all the conditions, but the neutering part, I'm not okay.
You have 21 days to appeal the decision. That's, in the letter that you receive, it'll tell you how to do that.
No.
Just, you basically appeal it to district court. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are set.
The next item on the agenda for today is a dangerous dog hearing for a dog named Arlie at 79 Lodgman Street, owned by Thomas Perez. Is Marissa? You are?
I think she's, yeah,
Oh, victim.
yeah.
Okay, you complaining, okay.
Is Thomas Perez.
Is Thomas Perez here? Okay, we'll now hear from jail.
I don't want to sit near the guy.
That's fine.
Right.
Okay,
Please, no comments between you, please. It's stressful for everybody. You don't appreciate being here. She doesn't appreciate being here, whatever. We're just a jury that has to be outside this place.
Yeah.
So please, Thomas Jail, start with TJL's comments first.
On March 22nd of this year, officers received a call regarding a dog bite incident from the Springfield Police Department. Ms. Graziano was walking down the street where Thomas was playing fetch with his dog Harley off leash. Harley chased after Ms. Graziano, and while she was attempting to walk by, bit her on her left buttock and lower back.
And he didn't even say sorry.
Sir, ma'am,
You're gonna give a moment, please. I know it's emotional, but please let her finish first, and then you will speak. He'll get a chance to speak. Then it'll be a 5-minute rebuttal allowed.
The dog Harley is a adult male Rottweiler.
Yeah, a vicious fucking dog. The low fence, the
okay,
fence way
Miss
too low.
Graziano, please, you'll have your turn, and when you have your turn, please address us,
Not him.
not him. But keep all your comments until then. Are you finished, Officer Rose?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you
The
can.
floor is yours.
Okay, great. So there is a neighbor, once I called the police, because this guy, I was going on a walk, I have diagnosed sciatica and arthritis. So that's why I'm going on my morning walk, okay? This guy's out in the street, in the middle of his streets, not on his properties, in the middle of the street, dog's not on a leash, thing's huge, okay? It's a literal Rottweiler, a scary fucking dog, okay?
Okay,
He literally is like, oh, it's friendly, don't worry. So I like was hesitant to walk, and then the thing lunged at me, like charged, and then bit me aggressively. Then I was screaming, like dying, and then I like there's woods right to the right. So I like stumbled into the woods, and then somehow it was trying to attack me again. Like it was trying to come at me again. And then somehow it just went away. And then he just didn't even say sorry. This guy just walked right into his house.
sure, sir, please.
Try to just,
Just mind blown that there's a human being that would not even acknowledge my existence or say sorry. When you just watched your dog literally hurt me, not just like playful biting. That thing fucking attacked me.
Watch your language. I know it's.
And then the neighbor, there's a neighbor across the street. She's called the police on this dog too, because it's attacked her dogs because the fence is too fucking low for this giant dog.
just let her speak. Let her speak. We're all adults. Just let her speak.
And I have it had 2 puncture wounds, okay? It's not healing the way it should be. It's like there's like a lump there now, and I go running, it hurts to run, it hurts to sit on it, like I can't sit on the floor, it still hurts. So, and I missed a week of work. So I do have a note to prove that. I've just been trying to work with my doctor to get logged into their internet to like for the patient portal, but my doctor did write a note. So I missed a week of work. What else? Like I got a tetanus shot. I went to the urgent care. I should have just went to the hospital, but I didn't. I went there, got a tetanus shot. Apparently it's got rabies shots, so I don't have to get that. And then I was put on antibiotics. It still hurts now. I went back to the urgent care just last week. And she's like, well, we can't technically do anything. It's probably gonna take a while to heal.
That's more like if you have a civil complaint against for damages. This is about the dog and dangerousness, so that you can save that for if you want to sue the individual. That would be a separate,
That's what I want.
that'd be separate.
That's not before us.
Yes.
We either
We
deem the
can
dog
only-
a nuisance, dismiss, deem the dog a nuisance, or deem it. So the thing is, all the things in terms of your medical, if that's what you need there, to share, that's fine. But you do have the right to sue him for damages, but it
So
just
how
would
would
not.
I go about that?
I can't advise you on that part, but after the meeting, I guess if you.
Yeah, I mean, the city doesn't, I can give you
Just give her
a list of people that you can talk to, but
Yeah.
that's for, again, I feel
Yeah.
bad and I'm sorry for that. But
No,
all
this
that
dog
would have
shouldn't
to
even be
be,
alive.
okay,
Fuck that.
okay,
Did you like to add anything else before?
Well, the neighbor was literally out there with me. She's like, this is not okay. Like, I believe you. It's attacked my dogs too. It's always jumping the fence and out. And then he doesn't care.
Thank you.
Ferris?
Yes, normally when I get out of work, first thing I do is I take my dog out of the kennel and I play catch with him. I have a small yard, so at this time I brought him out to it's a private way. So it says, signs this Larchmont Street is a private way. It says danger, private way.
I live right around the block.
Let him finish. For now, let him finish, then if you have rebuttal, you'll get a time to do it. I know it's hard, but I need you to maintain your composure, because I can't allow you to yell at him or him to yell at you. All conversation needs to be directed to the committee. So continue, sir.
So I see the lady coming up the hill. I'm playing fetch with my dog, so I threw the stick that I had, dog went fetch, they came back to me. And she's walking up the hill, as she's walking up, I noticed that she's hesitant on coming up the hill. So I looked over at her, I said, it's okay, he doesn't bite, he's a friendly dog. So, as she looked to be afraid. She's on the wooded side of the road, it's a dirt road, wooded side. And, my dog started to approach her. And he's a friendly dog. My neighbors get along with my dog. They all, even the lady that she mentioned that claims that my dog attacked her dog. The lady actually came to my house with my dog. My dog escaped the kennel. He dug a hole underneath. He got out and he went to the neighbor's yard, and he's a playful dog, so he wants to play with the dog. But my dog's too big to play with that little dog. So she brought him over. And I said, thank you for bringing the dog over, and I apologize. So that's that incident. But this incident,
He's lying.
You
It's
speak,
really
you
bad
speak in
stuff.
return.
You
this,
have to stop.
Stop.
I know.
this incident,
I'm sorry.
with
You will
this,
get a chance to rebut, but this is not, you're not helping it. It's not gonna change our decision. So if it's therapeutic for you, then that's fine, but this won't change or impact your emotions.
as my dog approached her, I ran over because I saw that she was afraid. So I ran over to my dog. I said, Harley, come back, because I noticed that she was afraid. So as my dog approached her, she turned very quickly. And my dog jumped on her back. And I did not bite her.
I have
It was
puncture
the-
wounds.
it
Couldn't
was the-
fucking
the
show me,
claw-
you
Quiet,
idiot.
It was the
Police-
claws.
police search
It was
there.
the claws on her back. I grabbed my dog and I said, I'm sorry.
Oh, so why? Because he didn't interrupt you. We don't allow him to interrupt. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that your ability to keep yourself composed while we
I
consider
can't, when
what's being
someone's so
said.
fucking mean and now they're lying, like, what the fuck? I'm trying, I'm sorry.
I'll ask for you to step out in the hallway if you can't keep yourself composed. That's the alternative. I'll listen to his testimony without you. Sir,
Okay, so I grabbed my dog because he jumped on her back. He did, but it was the claws that hit the feet. I grabbed my dog. I said, Harley, come, you gotta go home now. I grabbed him and I put him in his kennel. And just as frantic as you see her now, that's how she was. She started swearing at me. She started going on and on and on and on. And I'm not the type, I'm not argumentative. I will not sit there and argue with this person. So I sat there and waited till, I know that she was gonna call the police by her actions. I knew that she was gonna call the police and dog pound and talk with her neighbor. I saw that she was talking with the neighbor. So I was expecting that. So when the police came, when the dog person came to my house, I invited them in. I spoke with them. I showed them my records of my dog, the shots and all the paperwork I had. And that was it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have 5 minutes.
Adriana, you have 5 minutes to rebut.
Great, it's whatever, he's lying, he's not telling the truth. I literally have a puncture wound that can show you if you guys wanna see it, like. Fucking asshole. If he said sorry, if he literally acknowledged me and maybe said sorry, I wouldn't have gotten so mad. The fact that he just walked away, didn't even look at me, just walked away into the house is so not okay. You just watched your dog literally bite me and attack me, and then try to go at me again.
You don't have to take.
you don't have to.
But you can.
My dog did not return back to her to attack her. At the point where my dog made contact with her back, that's when I grabbed my dog and I brought him, put him in his kennel.
Thank you. Did you?
Thank you. Thank you.
First, I just have a question. So the private way, is it,
I was gonna speak on the private. way.
Okay.
Yes.
does the city provide services for that private way, or do you own it?
Provide, what do you mean?
Do they plow?
Yeah, let me jump in on that.
Yeah.
A private way does not, unless you don't, it's not, if somebody else lives on the street is not your street. A private way just simply means it's not paved. And when the contractor did it, he didn't do certain things, but it's still part of the city. So people have a right to walk through your private way unless you own the street, both sides of the street and the road that leads up. If it was part of your driveway and it's listed as a private way, that's your property. But the private way still belongs to the city. The difference between the private way is whether or not the city would pave it. Because the contractor didn't spend the money when he built those houses and created that right of way that allowed for you to be able to get to your house from the public way. So even if it's a private way, she or anybody else has a right to drive through there. They have a chance, a right to walk through there. And the only biggest difference is it's not whether or not if you were to request for it to be paved, who's going to pay for it? Because either you would have to pay for it, the city would have to designate certain funds of it, but it precludes chapter 90 money, which is the typical state funding that comes down to pave private ways to be utilized. So you understand. So you have no private way, just says private way, but it doesn't mean that any citizen in Springfield or outside the city has any more right to the property than you do. Okay, there you go.
Yes, so just so you and everyone else is clear, just because it's a private way, unless it's literally like your private driveway, it's still public.
I see your point. I should have had him on a leash.
So you did also mention that you have a kennel.
Correct.
How tall is your kennel?
It's about 6 feet.
6 feet. Does it have a roof?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And
Cement base, because he said.
yeah, so I assume that it doesn't have a cement base if he's dug out of
I
it.
am in the process of getting that done. Yeah, I've gotten an estimate done on that, and that's gonna be in process.
Okay.
So,
I would probably recommend similar conditions, that his kennel needs a cement base to ensure that the dog isn't able to dig out from under it. I would again suggest neuter and beware of dog sign on the fence. You're an adult only household?
yes,
Yes, and do you walk him?
yes, every day.
Okay. I would also encourage a use of a basket muzzle, which will still allow him to run and play and pant and drink. But will protect, should a kid or a dog or whatever run up to him, he's not gonna have an option of using his mouth if that is a
He
concern.
never used his mouth when he was, when he approached her. It was just gloves.
Just, no, you don't have to respond. She's just giving you, she's addressing us.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's all.
Well, I'll
for
stop-
me.
I'll stop.
I mean, yeah,
Okay,
Again, it has to be deemed dangerous.
I
I just want to make sure.
Yes,
For the record.
I
Thank you.
okay. I'm making a motion that this dog be deemed dangerous. Do I have a second for that motion?
Second. On the motion to deem the dog as dangerous. Or Johns?
No.
No?
I'm gonna read the dangerous determination again for everybody. Okay.
So,
Okay.
not necessary.
Megan Laundry?
You can, I respect it.
No.
Yes.
I too vote yes.
Have, so it's.
And absent.
So I make a motion that dogs are deemed nuisance. The motion fails because of the lack, because of a tie. So a tie is the same as the motion would fail. So I'll make the motion that dogs deemed nuisance. Do I hear a second to that?
Second.
The motion has been properly seconded. Roll, please.
Veronica,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Edwards,
Yes.
and Camille, yes. Motion to deem the dog nuisance. Pass.
And now I would like the conditions or
Go ahead,
options for, particularly the options that would mirror what CGL. You don't have to read them all.
Yes,
But the options that we avail to us
yeah,
that would mirror what TGL has asked.
yes. Okay, that's it. Everyone familiar with what Renee recommended? There you know what.
Does everybody understand or remember what she suggested in as her condition? Could you read the conditions again?
Yeah,
Please.
so, the conditions would be to build the concrete base for the kennel to make it more secure. Neuter, and then when he's being walked off leash, to use or when he's being walked off property on leash, to be using a Baskerville muzzle. And as I mentioned, those allow him to run and play, and he's still gonna be able to be goofy and pant and get excited. It will make sure that there aren't any further incidents.
And you have the dog sign.
Neuter.
And signage.
Oh, and this, well, shoot, that was.
Well, that's,
or I didn't know.
I just
Yeah,
need
okay.
you to repeat.
Oh, yes,
them,
and signage.
And he's gonna tell us whether they mirror what's a nuisance will under.
Got it.
Yes, it's,
The restrictions, so just so you understand, if the dog is deemed dangerous, then we have certain conditions that extend all the way up to euthanization. If it's a nuisance dog, euthanization is off the table.
It's not, he can still be.
We can still
Yeah,
euthanize.
yeah.
Oh. I'm not recommending that, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, but it's in there.
because her conditions mirror what.
Yes, they can, they can.
So-
All the conditions that she said, it fits.
So I'll make a motion, I'll make a motion that the conditions as TJL just mentioned are, is what we vote on and accept. Do I hear a second to that?
Second,
Call the roll.
John.
yes. Yes.
Landry,
Yes.
Edwards.
Yes.
And Nelson, yes. The motion with pardon me. The roll call for the recommendation has passed. And they are to have a concrete base, kennel, neutered, signage, and a basket kennel,
Basket muzzle.
basket muzzles. Thank you.
Property.
Without property.
Yes.
All right, you guys are all set.
Can I have
And it,
resources, so
yes,
I can, do you want me to just pass your email along to Attorney
Yeah,
Shelley, and
that'd
we
be
can
great.
just email you?
Yeah, I'll just email you. That'd probably be easier, all the
Yeah,
recommendations of who, not what to do.
it's Graziano, my last name,
Okay.
G-R-A-Z.
you have it, right?
I have it right here.
Forward it to me and I'll just.
Graziano Marissa.
There are attorneys in Springfield.
Okay,
By the end of the day, I'll send you that info.
all right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Sorry for what you had to go
Oh.
through.
Next item on the agenda,
Yes, that door box is in.
Yeah, the thing is, it's a public hearing, so the door has to
Yeah,
stay open.
open. Item number 4, dangerous dog earring of 5 dogs at 101 Quinton Street, owned by Kimberly Two.
Plaintiff here, is there a plaintiff? Which, just make it easier for us to kind of talk directly with you.
Right.
Thank you.
Fine. No, here go. Yeah.
On March 30th of this year, we received a call from I believe it was from Miss Reed regarding multiple dogs at the residence of 101 Quincy Street attacking her as she was entering her home with her small son. 2 dogs jumped on her, causing scratches and abrasions. She went to the hospital for medical treatment and called the police department when she returned from the hospital. So our officer was able to make contact with the pet owner. It turns out that there are indeed 5 dogs residing within that residence, which is well above the limit for the city. All 5 dogs were placed on quarantine. It appears that none of the dogs are spayed or neutered. The city does have a limit for intact animals of 3. or if they were all spayed and neutered, the limit would be 4. Otherwise, a kennel license would need to be acquired. This property would not meet the requirements for a kennel license within the city.
No, I knew she was. Brian was echoing everything she was saying. The last kennel license we gave her in Springfield was for MGM, Casino, for the bomb dogs.
And that was a big exception
And that was a-
because
that was a- yeah,
usually
that was a big-
it's a
you know-
larger property.
Yes,
Thank you.
the floor is yours, Mel.
Good morning,
Hello.
guys. Just to start off, this was around a little bit after 11 in the morning. Me and my 2 children were returning home. My oldest, he is turning 15. He went into our portion of the home first. We live on the first floor. Kim lives on the second floor. He entered, he unlocked the door. At the time, our gate was open. I got out my car, I went around to get my son out, who is 4, he's on the spectrum. There were no dogs in sight. So we proceeded to go in. As we're going up, we have about 3 stairs before you get to our screen door and then our inside door. So we walked up the stairs, and as I was headed to the inside door, her dogs just came running around from the backyard. The biggest dog jumped on me. I tried to shield my 4-year-old, so we were against the screen door. So we were basically pushed into the screen door. My child, he was pushed up against the screen door. I was hovering over him. The dogs were behind me. I know the biggest dog was on top of me. It was scratching me. I went to the hospital. I did have like whelps on my legs as well that they reported. After the incident, I contacted my grandma, who did contact Springfield PD as well as TJO. They said that they were gonna come out and make a report. So my grandma was meeting me at the residence after I came from the ER. My major concern with all of this is I did reach out to Kimberly when we got to the house. There was no remorse, there was no empathy, there was nothing. This happened again right after 11 a.m. Kimberly did not return to the home till probably 4. My cameras caught her strolling in lackadaisically eating. There were no signs up. At that time, she did have signs right here to put up in regards to her dogs. My cameras also caught her telling the neighbors, I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to have dog signs up and they're not up. This is exactly after the incident. When I got there, I spoke to her and I'm like, you didn't say anything. You didn't ask me if I was okay. What she did was she blamed her son, who is autistic as well, and says that he brought the 5 dogs out and he was not supposed to bring them out. Again, my camera did not catch the exact incident, but it caught me screaming for her because when I seen the dogs, I assumed that she was in the backyard with the dogs. So I'm, Kim, get your dogs. I'm shielding my child. The only how we were able to get into the home and to get the dogs off of me is because my 14-year-old, he came pushing through the screen door. And once the door opened, I swung my 4-year-old inside and I was still being scratched, clawed. I complained to her. TJO came out. They did assess. I did express to them, the biggest dog attacked me first. From my understanding, she was told that big dog had to leave. She was told 2 of her 5 dogs did have to leave and they could not be off a leash if they came outside. This happened on March 30th. April 1st, my cameras caught all 5 of her dogs, again, off the leash with her husband. I spoke to them again as well. I said, listen, and via text message, I submitted multiple things to your email. I'm not sure if you received them, but multiple proof in regards to this. I contacted her. I've had to move my trash cans, everything, because I don't want to go where her dogs go. So I told her, since you're not going to abide by the rules that TJO has given you, is a concern for me. Again, she didn't care at all. My son, he's petrified to go out. He slowly has to put his foot out and he's dogs, he's looking, he's barking, he's scared. This is a terrible situation. The worst thing is that there was no remorse of anything. Her son started to argue with me when animal control did speak to them and told them that they would have to get rid of dogs. Her son threatened to kill me. He said he was not getting rid of any dogs. He would crash out for his dogs. He would kill me for his dogs. This is why the police had to get involved.
and now we're here.
Thank you. Ms. Reed,
Let's see.
This is just my grandma. She came after.
okay.
It's the,
Yes, Donor, the dog.
oh, okay.
I was at work at the time when all this happened. She did text me. I have the text messages saying that my dogs did jump on her and scratched her. She was going to the hospital. I was at work. I was dealing with customers when she called me. I worked for Benson's Bagels on Sumner Ave,
Good babies. Go ahead.
but I was at work. We were in a rush hour. Don't know what to say because this is my.
Why we didn't go to the house is because she said that she was going to the hospital. If she would have sent us a message saying what hospital. she went
What's
to,
your name?
I'm the husband. One of the dogs is actually tagged under my name, that one of them that jumped. One of them is licensed, was spayed and neutered and up the record at the time that happened. And one of them was my dog that jumped on it. That's why I'm here.
That's fine. I just.
And the only reason why we had 5 dogs at the property is because when we bought the house and we did the closing, in the closing, it said that the property was fully empty. And that's a 2-family home. My son was gonna go downstairs with his dog. And when we got there, we had a full surprise that the downstairs wasn't empty, which we got all documents. This is actually for a later couple hours later. That's the whole reason why we got 5 dogs in the house. 3 of them was supposed to be for us, and the other 2 was supposed to be for my son downstairs in the downstairs apartment.
No,
And
we already had to get rid of one.
that's the whole reason why we had the 5 dogs. It's because when we bought the house, we bought the 2-family home for a reason, because my son was gonna live downstairs with his dogs, and we're gonna have our dogs upstairs. That was the whole that's the whole reason why we,
And I have the things where the other ones,
and I did ended up getting, reason why I didn't have the proper records at the time is because we was in a really bad stable move, like reasons, like we went from, we lived in a hotel for a month and a half. So all my stuff was still in the storage and everywhere, so I literally had to go through and find everything. And by the time I found the record for the 2 of the dogs that jumped on her, the biggest one, King, and then the brown one, it was
Polly.
Polly, and Miko, the brown one, which was spayed, which is neutered and up to date at the time, but I do admit it wasn't licensed. It wasn't licensed, but that's the only reason why we had the 5 dogs in the house, is because when we bought the house, we was understanding in the paperwork that the whole property was empty, the upstairs and the
And
downstairs.
that's what we guys signed.
That's 2 residents there. That's why we had the 5 dogs. And then, but that's for later.
And then I have the other ones, Polly and Qatar, well, Qatar is already gone, but I have Polly and Silver going to get their other shots and get neutered. And I've already talked to animal control. I've been compliant with them for everything. Every time they
And
call,
The time that they ran outside, the reason why they ran outside, the time that she's talking about the very next day, is because I go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. I let them out every day before I went to work. So they were ready to go outside at that time. And when I opened up the door, they ran out. And if she shows the video, it will also show me sitting there trying to hurry up and get them inside because they ran out. Because they was used to going out at that time. But like I said, I took them out every day at that time at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay, you're fine. Ms. Reed?
Yes, can I just speak on a couple things? When his dogs ran out, understandably that they are in a routine, but you had already received direct orders from TJO that your 5 dogs could not be out at the same time off a leash already at that time. As well as, I'm not sure under the pretenses of how you bought the house, that's not a concern here, but we do have a full abiding lease. So if you were not in agreement to me being there when you bought the house, you should not have signed the lease. So that has nothing to do with me being there. Okay, so I just want to point out that, again, they were not abiding by what TJO said. They did not show any remorse. they're just now speaking about a house that they bought in January, not them not knowing that I was there. They bought the house for my child's father, so they didn't know that I was there. We signed a lease, so they did know that I was there. Our lease is dated prior to the incident, so you guys knew that I was there. There were no pretenses that the house was going to be empty. From what Kimberly has told me, they initially had 7 dogs. 2 of the dogs got out and were hit by cars, so that's how they ended up with the 5 dogs. Can I just say again, as this gentleman said, it was King who attacked me, and she corrected him. The dog that she named is not the dog that attacked me. It was King. If TJO can please verify that at the time of the report, they did say the dogs were not spayed, neutered, or vaccinated, which was a huge concern for myself because the dogs had attacked me and I had open abrasions.
Yeah, the 2 dogs.
You addressed us.
The 2 dogs.
Hold on, your turn. She has her fight now. When she's done,
Continue,
you
if you
can go.
like. If you're finished, then we'll hear from her.
Yeah.
You're all set. Okay, you guys
No,
have
you-
5 minutes to
you have 5
respond to
The 2 dogs were vaccinated. That's when we lived in the hotel. Everything was still in the storage. The 2 dogs, Miko and King, were vaccinated. When TJ O'Connor's left, it took me a week to find everything for King and Miko, because they were, we still have boxes. We're not even unpacked yet. I'm still not unpacked at all.
And then as soon as we found them, we showed the documents. We came to the city hall and got the license right then and
And
there.
then
As soon,
TJ O'Connor's called me and said, thank you for showing all your
And then we showed it-
documentations
and then
to
we
the
showed it
city
now.
hall.
and we,
And this is the first time my dog's ever, yes, I do have people coming in every week and once a month to my house. The dogs are never put up. My dogs never, they jump on people when they get excited. I have a puppy that just literally turned 6 months old. And yes, they're a little bit big. My dogs are mixed with a pet terrier and a American bully.
and the only reason why, like I said, we didn't want to break the violation law, the 5 dogs we knew about, but we bought a house thinking, I know it doesn't matter because we
Just-
still had it in 5
Right.
and 1, but it doesn't matter, but like the only reason, that's the only reason why we had 5 dogs in 1 apartment is because when we did the closing, it said it was completely empty.
But when we got there, it's a different.
And it was,
story.
but that's for a later case.
But anyway, I did sign up for them to get, and then King is getting, he is getting ordered. I've already talked to the vet. She said after the, Monday, because they gotta go Monday. They're gonna set up an appointment for King to get, King and Pulley to get fixed.
Okay.
But will they all be fixed?
See, all will be fixed.
So you.
Miko's already fixed. his dog is already back there.
Where's it 4 now?
No, it's 4 now.
Okay.
Where
Once
we
they're-
had to get rid of the 1.
Okay, so you got rid of 1 and 1 shoe.
Yeah, because animal
So you're
control
within-
told me that I
okay.
had to I can keep the 4 as long as I can get them
That's what I was.
vaccinated.
And I
and-
am working on, while she is there, I am working on putting a fence in the back. It's just, there's been other problems and I had to put my money into a furnace to keep, so, I'm sorry.
No, it's.
I am making the security.
No one needs to talk anymore. It's just they can ask questions now.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I just had a couple questions. Okay, so Silver is spayed?
No, he's getting spayed.
Silver's a boy?
Yeah. He's getting ordered.
Miko.
It's Miko who's spayed,
And Coley is getting
neutered.
neutered. So only Miko is neutered and you gave Katara
Away.
away. Do you have any kind of proof for?
No, I just gave her.
I make a motion, deem these dogs as a nuisance. Do I hear a second for that motion? Motion second. Molly, you wanna call it all?
Excuse me,
Yes.
she wanted to
Under the
say
impression
something.
that I could ask TJO a question after we spoke with that now.
Yes, well, the thing is, you get 10 minutes, you get a 5-minute rebuttal, which you had. Really.
I thought after that, we were able to ask
You,
questions.
well, I
to
mean,
you
if you,
guys.
if
Okay, my
you have a
apologies.
question, sure, ask.
Go ahead, ask. away.
Okay, so my quick question was, during the report, I was told that the dog that initially attacked me first, which was King, the oldest one, had to be removed. Do you have any recollection of that? Was that put in the?
We don't have the right to determine which dog needs to be
Okay.
removed. So that they chose to remove a different dog, that's their decision, but they had to remove a dog.
So they did not have to remove 2 dogs, which I. was
Getting them all
told was the
spayed and
limit.
neutered,
They're
they
getting all
don't-
spayed and neutered.
but, so the city has a limit of 4
If they're all.
if they're all spayed and neutered.
Did that have to be prior to the incident or it doesn't matter?
The thing is at this point, we're gonna try to address it.
Yeah.
We're addressing the issue now.
Okay.
So to be honest, no, it should have been, they are in violation, that's the reason why they qualify to be here for a hearing. But we can't go back and penalize for past behavior. We make a judgment on past behavior, but we can't penalize for past behavior.
Okay.
So, that answers it,
Yes.
all right, did you call the roll?
Amber, I was getting ready to call it.
Sorry,
That's okay, that's okay.
to call first.
Okay, on the roll and deeming the dog and nuisance. Veronica,
Yes.
Andrea,
Yes.
and Mr. Edwards,
Yes,
and Camille also yes, and absent is Clemens.
okay.
On the
Okay,
nuisance,
And
motion passed.
Obviously, neuter all 4 dogs. I'm not familiar with the yard itself, but ideally there would be some sort of fencing enclosure that will keep them separate from your tenant. She has a right to feel safe in her home.
I am gonna work on that, and there is a private door where I don't even have to go over there. I can just go right straight out to the back, to the fence. I am working on that.
Now that we have the hearing, that will be
One of the conditions.
a pretty
If-
high priority for you, so you're gonna need to make sure that.
You can say like within 2 weeks. Is that something you can?
I could try to make that happen.
Okay.
I could definitely, I could actually do that, yeah. I could do it this way.
Other conditions, so we got fencing.
Number 5 is that the owner construct within 2 weeks from the date of decision a secure enclosure to house the dog or dogs when it's in the owner's yard.
So we wouldn't call this a secure enclosure necessarily so much as just, I think a fence is just gonna go a
Yes, I'm
long
gonna
way. It
go-
doesn't sound
I'm
like
gonna-
you're
yeah, I'm
escaping
gonna
the
put a
fence. It
fence
sounds like it's.
To block off the yard and the
It's,
driveway.
it's,
Well, I mean, like, there's no
Everyone-
fence
everyone be
to
quiet.
Separate.
Everyone just, can you?
There's no fence there.
everyone not-
Stop, please.
So that would go under the any other order.
Any other.
And that would, you can say within 2 weeks, construct whatever.
Yeah, secure fencing to keep the dogs in a portion of your yard that allows Miss Reed and her family to come and go safely without fear that the dogs are gonna be loose and accosting them at the door or at the. Like I said, I'm not super familiar. I have a picture in my mind of what you're saying, but
If I go home.
Please, stop,
No.
everybody, please stop, unless it's really important. I would prefer
I would
to,
just- yeah,
can I skip
No
through
one
this,
talk,
please?
no one talk.
I'd like to get through this. Okay, so conditions, we can discuss conditions at a certain point, but I can't get a consideration of them until I hear what she's recommending. And we then would have to vote on them. So please hold all questions until she gets her part done.
and adults only over the age of 18 to be taking the dogs in and out, so it's okay if the kids play with them, but they can't be the people responsible for them coming in and out of the house. Leashed if they're off property, obviously.
That's it.
I
And
mean,
they're,
you can add more if you'd like.
and they're all neutered.
Yeah, they
and they
sound
are-
like you have
and-
appointments
and-
for all of them, second chance.
And that should be done. Should we include, can we include a specific time frame
Yeah, I
in
mean,
the order?
when are they?
What are they
when-
doing?
It's gonna.
One
be
person talk.
One at a time, either one.
it's Monday, the 6th is when they go in for the holy
They go in for the shot.
shots and
Probably
then,
just do 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna take me a little bit. I could
You can make,
schedule
you
the
can make an
appointment.
appointment.
I could make the
Yeah.
appointment, but they're gonna schedule it out for a while.
Within 2 weeks, make an appointment.
Yeah, I can make an appointment. I'm making it Monday. I
Yeah.
gotta wait till Monday.
yeah,
They
gotta
go in
wait.
Monday for an appointment.
Any other conditions from you, recommendations?
Sorry.
The members of the committee, do you have any conditions that you recommend?
As soon as they are fixed, can we have them provide proof of that ASAP and perhaps maybe schedule another follow-up hearing to see like we did with the other one?
That's
To
a
make
great
sure that the
idea.
conditions are in fact in place?
I think that's a great idea.
Yes, that can be one of the conditions as well. So, any other conditions by any member of the committee, members of the committee? Hearing none, motion to accept the recommended conditions. I make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second, second,
Do I hear any questions on the motion? Hearing none questions on the motion, please call the roll.
Ward Johns,
yes.
Ward Laundry,
Yes.
Ward Edwards.
Yes.
Ward Camille, yes. Conditions passed.
Thank you, and we'll take a look.
You will receive a notice, letter from the city. Sorry.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Your conditions for the leash, do they only have to be on a leash when they're outside of the property because we live on the same property?
Well, that's why we're asking for the fence to be,
So
So
in
when
the
they're not-
2 weeks' time that you gave them with
they
no
should have a
fence,
fence.
with no fence,
With the fence,
Yes.
before the fence
where the
comes,
fence comes.
what are the stipulations? Can they still be out in the dwelling that we share with no leash? Because that's what caused the problem.
Right.
We share a yard.
I'll call her and discuss that, to have them be on a leash while they're.
Until the.
Are there
fence is put in
times
place.
are there times that would work for you where they could have, obviously, as a pet owner, I'm sympathetic to the fact that dogs do also need. to run.
Understandable,
So,
so,
yeah.
but I have a child.
Oh,
that
yeah.
is very, you know, his.
I
safety
wasn't
is
sure
my
if there's a
first
time that would work
concern.
for you that they could have time to go run, but I can just say just leash them.
Well, the thing is, if you can manage to get through 2 weeks, the thing is, there's a follow-up hearing coming. So the thing is, we're getting 2 weeks to put a sign, have the fence up, and then we will be following up, and the same thing with the, we're not just gonna allow them to say that they're going to have the dogs neutered, where they are going to be a follow-up
She's
hearing.
just asking for the
My concern is,
time
right,
frame.
so in the time frame, let's say tomorrow, obviously the fence is not gonna be put
No,
up,
it wouldn't be
correct?
up that way.
Can her dogs be loose without a leash in the same yard that we share is my
I would
question.
assume no, because they don't have a secure enclosure, so.
So no,
So they would have to come out on a leash.
Yes, and
You could just relay that to her.
I'll call and make sure that they understand that, since they've already.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
sorry for your.
And obviously be in touch if
Yes,
they're
yes.
continuing to.
Very much, because I
Thank
wanted to mention that too, because initially they had a pre-arrangement which didn't work, and that's the reason why she was attacked. So it's good
Yeah.
to hear about the fence.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
How many more?
Well, this next one will be very quick.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 5.
Just, you can sit it down.
Yes, we have had no further incidents of these dogs being loose, so it stands to reason that the electric fence is doing the trick, or that the fear of further repercussions is doing the trick. So I think that this could be closed out with the current conditions.
Motion to clear this out.
Second.
Second,
Second,
any questions on the motion?
Nope.
Call the roll.
Ward Johns. Ward Johns?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ward Laundry
yes.
and Ward Edwards.
Yes.
And Ward Snelson, yes, and absent Ward.
Thank you very much for your time and thank you for your compliance. You're all set.
Oh, no, that's
They're
not
not
that.
here.
They're not
They're
here.
not here.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's why I said it would be very quick.
They're not here.
And now it's easy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Next.
item number 6.
I'll name Brick.
1 second.
Nathan,
So I will have to swear you in because you came in after I sworn everyone, okay? Item number 6 is a dangerous dog in for a dog named Brick at 41 Suffolk Street, owned by Miguel Gonzalez. Is a complainant Anna Morales here?
I know there was wrong.
Okay, okay, your time is, so PJO.
Wait a minute, hold on, you swearing?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. Sorry, I forgot
I'm
to.
sorry. Do you declare or affirm that the evidence that you are about to give is the truth and the whole truth, so help you God?
yes.
Your
Okay,
hands down.
and there's no plaintiff?
No, didn't, complainant
that's-
is show.
All right,
TTO.
and so TGO,
Okay, so my understanding of the situation is that both parties own dogs and reside in the same house, first floor, second floor. Brick is a pit bull.
American Bully?
Yeah, okay, pit bull type dog.
It's a pure bully though.
And Blue is a husky.
Big ass dog.
So Blue was outside in the yard when, with his owners, when Brick was let out at the same time. Brick latched onto Blue's rear leg. And it sounds as though he possibly, while the owner was trying to split up the,
It was my brother who was trying to split the
stop,
dog.
please.
Okay,
Wait,
sorry.
you let her speak, then we'll ask us, I'll give you a
yeah,
chance.
these reports aren't the easiest to read. So while his brother was trying to split up the fight, Blue bit your brother. So in these types of situations, when a dog fights during the fight, those are typically considered provoked bites because it could even just as happen with your own dog. They don't know what's grabbing them. They're already escalated. So you're pulling them apart. It's really common for a redirect bite to occur. So basically this is just two, it'd be considered two dogs fighting each other. And then the people involved also got bit, but those bites are provoked because the dogs are already in a fight.
I actually have a question. Was the plaintiff given notice? Like, does he know that he's supposed to be here today? And so did he willingly miss it, or does he not know that the hearing's today?
Safe. Just trying to figure out, some of them were delivered and some of them were not. This claims that this notice was delivered.
I know mine was in my mailbox.
Oh, yeah, but the complainant received it, they only received it via traditional mail, so I don't have
Okay.
confirmation. I only have for
All right.
the pet owner, because they're the ones who have the most at risk or.
As long as they have notice, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
So this is a question for you as an attorney, so don't need to hear anything from the defendant if there's,
Yeah,
do we?
I mean, you could still potentially learning the facts.
Well, if I'm satisfied with,
Yes,
and this is addressed just to you and to the listener. If TJO's report says this was a dog fight by two dogs living in the same residence.
Yeah.
The bite was while somebody was provoked because they were trying to break it up.
Yeah.
Why do I need to listen to the defendant?
no, I mean, he can give his, if you choose to call on him,
If it's the will of the committee, I'd make a motion to dismiss.
Second.
Do I hear, I'll make that motion, that's in a second. Do you have any questions on the motion?
Nope.
Call the roll.
On the motion to dismiss made by Councilor Edwards, Board Jones,
Yes.
Board Laundry,
Yes.
Board Edwards,
Yes.
Board Nelson, yes.
Laundry seconded.
Yeah, she seconded,
Just
yes, she
making sure
did.
it's in the record.
Sir, thank you for coming in.
Long story short, this is the second time that happened. The first time the husky attacked my dog, but they didn't report it.
You're all set.
I'm just saying.
So I would just encourage you guys to work out some kind of
Yeah, I
schedule. or
walk
keep
my
your
dog with a
eye-
leash. I got videos of
Yeah.
them walking their
Okay.
dog without
You-
leashes.
Okay.
They didn't show up. There's no reason for you to say anything other
And just
than.
ensure that your dog is safe,
And
you know,
if-
making sure that their
Common
dog
sense
is.
would suggest you might want to have a conversation with your neighbors so that you guys.
They don't even want to speak to me after the incident, because I know they was wrong.
That, we can't solve that problem.
That's not-
But thank you for showing up.
Have a good day.
Coming up.
Yeah, I mean,
Last and
why
final
have a seat
item.
if you don't have?
Sorry.
Sorry. Get it done.
Last and final item on the agenda for today, item number 7 is a dangerous dog hearing for 2 dogs named Choky and Luna at 49 Gerard Avenue.
Wait, is the plaintiff, you want to come up front?
Abigail
No, she didn't come. She didn't come.
and
Jose we are the owners of Luna and his jockey.
Hold on.
you, Jose.
Yeah.
But I'm Jose too.
Okay, you, then you can come up here then, if
So you can
she's
sit
not,
right there.
if the complaint
We'll hear
isn't
from
here.
TJO.
I'm confused.
So wait a minute, hold on a second. Hold on, please. Okay, just so we get clarity. Is a plaintiff here?
No, but he's a, we're gonna go over what happened, just in
Okay.
case it could be
We're gonna have,
egregious.
we're gonna have, hear what
Yeah, if
happened.
it's egregious, you
But I
can
want to
still go
know,
on.
do we have a plaintiff? Because we have 3 people here and I don't know who they
Yeah.
are.
We the family for Luna.
They're all together. You're all together.
Okay, that-
Luna and jockey.
No, and so there is no plaintiff. We're gonna listen to TJO
Notice
because.
was notice sent to the complainant.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we want to hear for the record.
So TJO, please.
Okay, so this sounds. They're always fun to read. So Abigail, who is not here, had her dog Marble on a leash, tether outside to use the bathroom. When both of Jose's dogs came running over to Marble and began biting. Jose's dogs were loose at the time and both dogs bit Marble. Sounds like they're all small breed. It was, Marble is a small Chihuahua. Or. And then, Jose's dogs are a Chorky and a Chihuahua. So
Were any of the bites like serious or anything like that?
it does not have any, I suspect there was
weren't
a,
Serious, would it say it?
it would
the
say if it
report?
was a egregious,
Okay,
yes.
That's what, again, that's. what I-
So, and it does look like a citation was sent to Mr. Sanchez just for his dogs being loose and,
Okay.
and not having vaccines or license. And I don't see anything indicating that we have like any kind of significant past history with any of the dogs involved. They all have very new ID numbers.
And suggestion is if you hold them being a nuisance, the condition is that they be licensed and have all their shots. Otherwise,
And I can require that
But
regardless.
that's the law already.
Yeah.
That's not.
yeah, but you can require them,
Yeah.
order them to, rather than then you can ask them to do it. But I'm just saying that could happen, but you guys can also just dismiss this like the other one because the plaintiff didn't show up. All those options.
Either Veronica or Megan, I've made most of the motions tonight. This is one that I can go either way. I think either we dismiss or we could name it a nuisance, but then add conditions. In order to add conditions, we would have to deem it a nuisance. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this particular one.
Has there been any other incidents where the dogs have gotten out, or was there a specific occasion? Was something happening that the dogs got out at this particular incident?
No, there's no
We
record.
don't have any records of the dogs being loose previously. It would be really hard to prove. Gerard Avenue is a large complex with many, many dogs residing there. So, I mean, they may have been loose in the past and we didn't know it was them. But this is the only incident that we have confirmed that these were the dogs that were loose. So, I don't have any like proof that these dogs are habitual roamers or anything of the sort.
I'll make a motion to dismiss.
I'll second.
Second. Oh, third.
Camille, you're the fourth, say it.
Call, hold on.
And the motion to dismiss. Roy Jones,
Yes.
Landry,
Yes.
Ward Edwards.
Yes.
And Words Camille. Motion passed.
So just make sure that if they aren't already, licenses were due on Monday. So just, if you have the paperwork for rabies with you, you can actually just go downstairs to get it.
Okay.
If you don't have it with you, you can pop into the shelter to get it. I think you can do it online now.
Okay.
So just make sure that that gets done
Okay.
and obviously keep them on a leash and,
Yep.
and safe,
Always.
protected, because there are some scary dogs over
Yeah,
there.
they are, yeah.
And thank you for coming, but
Thank you.
just take this as notice, though.
Yeah, yeah,
If another incident happens, they can come back and file
Yeah,
another.
for sure.
You don't need the inconvenience of having to come back.
No.
Thank you.
She actually didn't beat them, she's always been a bell for industry.
The time is now 11:43 and the meeting is now closed.